In this tutorial, I'm going to go over a visual exercise to develop your visual sensibilities with examples of my work. This exercise is about looking and seeing. But before I begin, let me remind you to subscribe to my channel and click on that bell icon to be notified when I upload new tutorials. Visual arts, whether it's photography, painting, or film, is all about visual language. When we learn a language, we start off by learning the alphabets A, B, C, D. We learn to put together the alphabets to make up words, and we put together words to make up sentences to communicate. There are certain sets of rules, such as grammar, in languages. However, visual language does not have a set of rules you can follow. You have to develop a language of your own. Visual language can be abstract and be interpreted subjectively. For photographers, developing a visual sensibility is imperative. Visual sensibility develops a language to communicate your ideas behind your photographs. For a photographer, formal elements play an important role in developing a visual sensibility or a language. There are things such as context, reference to history or history of art, and genre that also play a part in developing a visual language, but these things are outside the scope of this tutorial. We will only focus on form or formal elements in developing a visual sensibility in this tutorial. This tutorial or exercise is best suited for beginning photographers who want to develop a visual language. But it's a fun project that photographers of all levels can also enjoy and gain from. I did not think of this exercise. I wish I did. This exercise is based on the incredible American documentary photographer Susan Meiselas' assignment called Alphabetography. This assignment is included in this wonderful book called The Photographer's Playbook, 307 Assignments and Ideas, edited by Jason Fulford and Gregory Halpern. This book is published by Aperture, a great non-profit foundation for advancement of photography based in New York City. The book lists 307 assignments given by 307 contemporary American photographers. Some of the photographers listed include Dawood Bey, Laura McPhee, and Bob Thaw, who were all my teachers, by the way. Susan Meiselas' assignments reads: the student locates objects, lines, and forms that most resemble each letter of the alphabet from letter A to Z. Letters can be discovered in natural and man-made forms, found in shadows, or made by cropping with the frame of the camera. For this project, you will go out in the world and find objects and patterns that resemble alphabets from letter A to Z. When photographing the alphabets, you do not have to photograph in alphabetical order. You can photograph in natural environment, or in the city, or the suburbs, or in rural areas. You can photograph inside or outside. You can photograph architecture, or parts of the human body, or the landscape. You can use a DSLR camera, or a mirrorless, a point-and-shoot, or a phone, or a film camera, or a Polaroid camera for that matter. I would encourage you to use something like a fixed normal lens if you have one, instead of a zoom lens. A fixed lens will give you less options, setting certain limitations. Limitations sometimes can be a good thing in the creative process. For this project, do not set up shots to make up alphabets. For example, don't put two twigs together to make an L. Setting up things would make it too easy. Also, don't take photos thinking you will crop it later in post-processing. You are trying to develop your visual sensibilities, and you want to get the composition right during capture and not in post-processing. And feel free to make multiple shots of the same object from different angles. You can always discard the one that do not work well. Before you start this project, let's talk a little bit about formal elements of photography. Formal elements are what makes up form, and they are line, light, color, tonality, texture, pattern, and shape. Pay attention to this element as you're composing your photographs. When you are photographing, be focused. You have to take a meditative approach when you are composing your shots. Pay attention to the entire frame as you look through the viewfinder. Pay special consideration to the edges of the frame. What you see in the viewfinder is your photograph. That rectangular frame is all you have. Through the formal elements such as line, light, and color, you want to turn the ordinary into extraordinary. It is all about how you put these elements together to make it your own, your visual language, your own photograph. Go out and start looking at things. Look up, look down. Soon you will start seeing alphabets. You will see that you will find certain alphabets more than others. If you see the same alphabet more than once, photograph it. Later on, you can choose the strongest one from each alphabet. You will notice that certain alphabets with organic forms such as G and Q are more difficult to find. Letters such as T and L are plentiful. Once you are done photographing all the alphabets, import them into Lightroom or Breeze or whatever software you use to edit your photos. Once you select your final alphabets, put them in alphabetical order and look at them. A slideshow of the images also works greatly. Once you do this project, you will be amazed how much your visual senses have heightened. You will be walking down the street and you will see photographs. Once, a student told me she was driving on the highway and she saw an alphabet and she wanted to screech to a halt and photograph it. Don't do that. Here's 2 sets of my images from A to Z. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you find this tutorial on developing your visual sensibility helpful and that you enjoy the fun exercise. If so, please like the video and don't forget to subscribe my channel and click on that bell icon to be notified when I upload new tutorials. If you have any comments or questions, please use the comment section below. Happy alphabetography!